Hello everyone. I am Dhruv Joshi, your English teacher, and I welcome you all to Adhyayan tutorials. Today, we are going to learn a fantastic topic in English. This topic is called figures of speech. Figures of speech holds an integral part in the poetry section of a syllabus. Many students find it boring, some find it difficult, but trust me, I am going to make this interesting and simple for all of you to understand. So today we are going to cover some commonly used figures of speech. Let us see the list. So we are going to learn personification, repetition, metaphor, hyperbole, euphemism, apostrophe, simile, synecdoche, transferred epithet, alliteration, tautology, antithesis, and onomatopoeia. So these are some commonly used figures of speech that we're going to learn today. Let us start. The first one, alliteration. Alliteration is where the starting sound is repeated for a poetic effect. So the starting sound of a word is repeated in the sentence in the same line. Students usually get confused over here. They feel it's the starting letter. Let me clarify, it's not the starting letter, it's the starting sound that repeats. Let me give you some examples. The first one, Minnie Mouse makes some mischief. Here, if you observe, the sound of M, the sound of letter M is repeated. It's not the letter M which is repeated, it's the sound of letter M which is repeated for a poetic effect. Let's see a little tricky example here. Kim cuts colorful kites. Now here, some students say, sir, the sound of K is repeated, and some say the sound of C is repeated. These students are answering like this because they are looking at the letter K and C. Let us look for the sound. Kim, K, K, cuts, K, colorful, K, kites, K. If you see all of these words, their starting sound is that of letter K. So it's not the letter C that repeats, it's the sound of letter K that repeats. That is alliteration. The next one is repetition. Now repetition is one of the simplest figures of speech you will ever find. Why? As the word suggests. When the words are repeated for a poetic effect, it's repetition. Now if you remember, I told you initially that I am going to make this topic interesting for you and simpler for you. So what I have done is I have some beautiful examples, some really interesting examples that will stay in your memory for a long time. So let us start. Let us play this little game. So this example is of a Bollywood celebrity who has two words in his name repeated. So what are those two names? Just guess. Here it is. The Bollywood celebrity is Yo-Yo Honey Singh. So what repeats? Yo-Yo, it repeats. Let us see another example. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Your childhood rhyme if you remember, right? So here the word twinkle is repeated for a poetic effect. So that is repetition, no difficulties at all, right? Okay, let us go slightly higher. The next one we have is simile. Simile is where a direct comparison is made between two unlike objects by using the words as, like, or so. So when I say unlike objects, I mean to say two objects which do not have any similarity, yet you compare them directly using the words as, like, or so. And the example is right in front of you. His head was as bald as a baby's backside. So that is baby's backside, bum, and his head. If you see there is no similarity, yet we made a comparison using the words as, right? So this is a direct comparison made between his head and baby's backside, and that is what simile means. Let us see another example. This is another celebrity of the media industry, and this celebrity is as beautiful as the rose. Have a look. She is as beautiful as the rose. I'm sure many of you don't agree with me. So here I'm comparing she, that is this woman with the rose, using the word as, right? So this is simile. Now there is a similar figure of speech. Remember, I said similar, not same. Similar, which means some similarities, some differences. Let us see what is it. It is a metaphor. In metaphor, an indirect comparison is made between two unlike objects without using the words as, like, or so. Okay, so we have an indirect comparison. Simile, maybe we are direct, here it's indirect. We compare two unlike objects like we did in simile, but we do not use words like as, like, or so. Okay, let us see an example. So when I say he was a walking encyclopedia, I am comparing this one individual with an encyclopedia. An encyclopedia is a book which has profound knowledge, a lot of information in it. So when I call a person a walking encyclopedia, I'm trying to say that he is extremely intelligent. He has a lot of information. So here, if you see, the comparison is being made, but we are not using words like as, like, or so. And that is why this is metaphor. Another example is once again a celebrity. Okay, he is the world's best cricketer ever. I'm sure you've understood कि मैं किसकी बात कर रहा हूँ. This is Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin is the god of cricket. Here we are comparing Sachin with God without using the words as, like, or so. Metaphor. Let us see another figure of speech. This is antithesis. In antithesis, opposite words or ideas are expressed in the same line. एक ही line में आपको opposite words या opposite ideas मिलेंगे. Now we have another example of a Bollywood celebrity, and this is a superstar. People lovingly call him Bhaijan. Right? I'm sure you people have understood किसकी बात कर रहे हैं. So this is the example. Big Boss Saath Saath is about angels and demons. The two opposite ideas or words in the sentence are angels and demons. And the next example, the waves rose and fell. Rose and fell. Two opposite words and ideas, rose and fell. That is antithesis. There's another figure of speech which is exactly the opposite of antithesis, and that figure of speech is called tautology. Tautology is where similar ideas or words having similar meanings are placed in the same line. The next example is of a celebrity who was a cricketer, turned into a politician. He's also a judge at a lot of laughter shows and is famous for his laughter. I'll mimic him for you so that you people can guess who the celebrity is. So this is how it talks. Oh Guru, झुंड में तो सुअर आता है, शेर अकेला आता है, ठोको. You've guessed it correct. This is Navjot Singh Sidhu. He is quiet and silent. The two similar meaning words are quiet and silent. I'm very sure many of you don't agree that he's quiet and silent, and that's okay. The next example is of a Hollywood heroine. She is pretty and gorgeous. Here we have it. She is pretty and gorgeous. I'm sure you know this painting. It's that of Mona Lisa. Yes, but this is Mona Lisa ki behen, Bina Lisa. Okay. She is pretty and gorgeous. The two similar meaning words are pretty and gorgeous, and that's your tautology. The next one that we have is personification. In personification, a human quality is given to an inanimate object. Students understand it's an inanimate object, not non-living things. Okay? Inanimate objects are those objects that cannot move on their own. That includes some living objects like plants and trees. So remember, it's not non-living things, it's inanimate objects. The sun winks at us early morning. What is the human quality? The human quality of winking is given to the sun. The flower is dancing in the rain. The human quality of dancing is given to the flower. That's why this is personification. I hope you have enjoyed this session, and I hope the boring and difficult figures of speech are now interesting and simple for all of you. Thank you so much for being there with me. Please join Adhyayan tutorials.